Get the net, get the net. Look, there's another one. Man, we're on them right here. That's another big one. When God made the catfish, he made that fish to be fried, I think. Welcome back, y'all. So me and my son, we're gonna be doing some fishing on the Kentucky River today, and we're gonna be fishing on my little John boat. Last time you guys seen this boat, we were actually on our way to the hospital after I cut myself trying to get it running right. But since then, I've done quite a bit of work to the boat. So I ended up putting new plugs and wires on it. The switch box actually was bad, the box that controls the firing. So we got new plugs, new wires, switch box, and while I was waiting on parts to come in, my dad actually went ahead and painted the trailer for me. He done a good job on that because ever since I've had this trailer, it's just been rust. And I went ahead and put new tires on the trailer, got all new lights on here, everything's working. Made sure the bearings were good. So we're gonna get the boat back down in the water and I'll explain to you guys a little bit more about what we're gonna be doing today. All right, y'all, so we made it to the first spot of the day. The little boat ran great on the way up here. We're gonna start out fishing some of these rock bluffs. We got our ultralight gear with us. I didn't bring a cast net. I didn't bring any frozen bait or anything. So we're gonna be trying to catch some small live baits to catch some channel cats with later on tonight. And you never know, we might even catch catfish doing this. Usually when I fish this bank, I can catch a couple channel cats on my ultralight gear. But we're gonna get set up here and I'll show you the type of gear and type of lures and stuff that we're using to catch these fish.
I think I found about, wow.
So we're just using cheap ultralight gear here. I've got a Berkeley cherrywood rod, 5-foot ultralight, and I've got a Shimano Sienna. There's a fish. Oh, that's something bigger. That's a channel cat. Get the net. Get the net. We'll be lucky to get him in. That's what we're looking for right there, isn't it? It's going to take a while to get him in. It's a pretty nice one for this size rod. Yeah, there's really nothing you can do. He can pretty much go anywhere he wants to go. Yeah, it's a channel cat. All right, get him. Good job on the net. Well, he's barely hooked, wasn't he?
He's hooked in the whisker.
Barely hooked in the whisker. Look, just came off. All right, y'all, so that is one of the fish that we're looking for today. And I was hoping we could get it while we were ultralight fishing, because they sure are a lot more fun on these rods and reels than they are those down there. So we're gonna put him in the cooler. Oh, I do have a stringer we can put him on. Yeah. Where's that stringer at?
I think about 3 or 4 more of them. With the perfect.
So when I put these catfish on a stringer, their mouth's normally tough enough to where I just run it through their lip instead of running it through their gills. And they'll normally be just fine as long as you don't forget about them and take off with the big motor running 30 mile an hour down the river. I've done that before and lost a whole stringer of fish. All right, so I'm probably gonna retie after catching a fish that size on this 2-pound line. But like I was trying to explain before I got interrupted by that fish, I've got a 5-foot Berkeley cherrywood ultralight rod with a Shimano Sienna 1000 reel. We've got 2-pound line, and for our bait, we're using a little bitty 1/64 ounce jig head with a number 8 hook, and it's just a little trout magnet. I think this color is called Bulldog. But yeah, hard to beat a trout magnet when you're ultralight fishing. Great little bait right there. And Landon, he's pretty much using the exact same thing I'm using. Got a different brand rod, but pretty much the same thing. And we're just throwing our jigs as close as we can to this rock and letting it fall to the bottom. And they'll normally hit it on the fall. The water temperature in this little river is 87 degrees, and today's June 27th. I couldn't believe that it was that warm, but it has been extremely hot over the past couple weeks. So the spawn, the flathead spawn, and just the catfish spawn in general might be about over with in this little river. So we're probably going to anchor up tonight, throw a couple rods out for small fish, and we'll throw a couple live baits for some bigger fish.
See, this is what people think he's making crap up, okay?
Fish. A little bluegill, that's a piece of catfish bait right there.
He's a little better than some of the other ones.
All right, we got a rock pile coming up. I bet we'll catch something out of there. I got a, look at that bluegill.
Yeah.
That's a big old bluegill for the river right there.
Mm-hmm.
You might fry him up.
Might, yeah.
Nice and clean looking.
Of course, it wouldn't fill us up, but it'd be...
Every little
The
piece.
same fish
Look,
again.
there's another one. Man, we're on them right here. That's another big one. Taking drag. That one's even bigger, isn't it? Man. There's some reason why those bigger ones are in there. They're males and they're spawning. You can see it on their tails. I'm gonna throw in there again, man. That's unbelievable. So if you guys have never tried ultralight fishing before, definitely give it a shot. It's really inexpensive to get into. It might seem kind of crazy using these tiny baits, tiny rods, catching tiny fish, but it's an absolute blast. Even a tiny little bluegill pulls drag, puts up a good fight. And it's a great way, if you're a catfisherman, it's a great way to catch catfish bait, whether it be bluegill. We catch a lot of moon eye right before dark. We catch a lot of moon eye using the same setup right here. It's something different than throwing a cast net. It's a lot of fun. And something I never get tired of, really, no matter how much I do it. And if you're not sure what a moon eye is when I'm talking about moon eye, then hopefully we can show you one tonight. They kind of seem to disappear in the daytime like this, but right before dark, they'll come up and start popping bugs off the top of the water, and it's usually almost a guarantee you'll catch a few right before dark. What do you got? Perfect size. Well, sometimes I forget how much I love fishing out of this little boat until I actually get it out and do it. It's just a lot of fun fishing out of it. And it's actually really comfortable to fish out of because there's so much open floor space, especially for such a small boat. And then we've got the little front deck that I added on up there. But yeah, I've been fishing out of this boat since 2009 is when I bought this little boat. Now I've redone the inside of it a couple times since then, but it's been a good boat. A lot of memories, especially where we're at today. This is actually where I used to bring this little boat all the time when I was first learning. I'd come down here planning on fishing for a couple hours. I wouldn't bring any food or water, and I'd leave 12 hours later with the worst headache you could ever imagine, dehydrated from the sun. But those were the days. Those were some of the most fun days I ever had fishing. Good times. It might be it. I thought I was hung and then it took off. It might be another catfish. It's either a catfish or a drum, I'd say, or a state record moon eye. Look at him just steady pulling drag, which I mean that's not hard to do on this 2-pound line, but all right. Got him. He's ours. What a great day fishing, man. This has been a blast. I love chasing the big fish, guys, but Just bringing these little bitty rods down here and catching anything that wants to bite, that sure is a lot of fun. Ooh, that's one of them ones that's got the spots all over it. I normally don't eat them.
I probably wouldn't.
Alright, y'all, so I normally don't keep these rough looking channel cats with these little parasites all over them and stuff. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put him on a stringer. Boy, he don't look healthy either, does he? He's skinny. I don't know if I'm even gonna keep him at all.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? You don't want to eat that one?
I don't want to eat that.
Alright, well, we'll put him back. Maybe we'll catch another one. Hopefully we'll catch another one. It's crazy what you can catch with 2-pound line if you just take your time. Finally caught a moon eye. That's what I've been after. Boy, he wasn't coming off. Alright guys, so this is a moon eye if you guys have never seen one before. I don't know if you guys can pick it up on the camera, but they got little teeth. And once they grab something, they normally hang on to it. But they're hard to get a hook into a lot of times because of all, that's just they got a real bony mouth. But they are absolutely fantastic catfish baits, especially in rivers that have a lot of them. You can see him snapping his teeth there. He's not happy. Since we're fishing for eater size fish tonight, we'll throw him in the cooler and we'll use him for some cut bait later on. Hopefully we'll get a couple more because down here where we're at, that is without a doubt the best bait to be using. There, another moon eye. Get the net just in case. God, them things fight hard. That's a little bigger one right there. They're so fast. Good job. That's a bigger one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, them things are fighters. All right, y'all, so there's a little better one. Seems like they're biting pretty good today. Normally you don't even see them out in the river like this until right before dark, but looks like they're biting today. That's two just fishing jigs on this bank right here. All right, y'all, so we've had an absolute blast fishing with these little ultralight rods. We caught a ton of fish, and if you guys have never tried fishing like that before, definitely give it a shot because it's a lot more fun than you might think it would be. But we've got plenty of bait now. We got some live bluegill, we got some moon eye, and we've got some bluegill that we're gonna cut up. So we're gonna find us a couple places to anchor up before it gets dark. We're gonna try to get us a couple more channel cats or small blue cats to take home and fry up. There's always that chance that we might hook into a big fish too, a big flathead. So got my fingers crossed for that. All right, y'all, so we found us a spot here we're gonna set up in. We got a couple trees here to tie up to, and then we got a mud bank. It's about 20 foot deep, and then it drops off to about 40 foot over here on this side. And there's just lots of trees, log jams and stuff on the bottom down through here. And also seen some fish on the bottom down through here that more than likely they're probably catfish. So this is gonna be our first spot. We're gonna give it a minute and see how it goes. Also just a couple of bungee cords on these logs and we should be rock solid. We shouldn't move any at all. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna be using my medium action Tangling with Catfish rods tonight. For the smaller channel cats, these are still going to be overkill, but since there is a chance we could hook a big fish, you know, I'd rather have a rod with a little bit of backbone. But I believe we're going to be able to pick off a couple fish here. It looked good coming up through here. And something else about this spot is we've got a good looking log jam back here for some catfish, but we got moon eye jumping all out here to the right side of the boat. So while we're waiting, there was one right there behind the boat. So while we're waiting on catfish to bite, we can have fun catching some moon eyes. So I'd like to get some of them in the freezer anyway. I'm just gonna chunk this thing up into some small pieces, small enough to where a channel cat should be able to get it in their mouth. Moon eye are kind of a mushy bait, but it doesn't seem to affect how they stay on the hook. They still stay on the hook fine. All right, so this high-low rig I got right here, I just got a couple little 5/0 circle hooks tied about 18 inches apart. 2 little baits. Allows you to get a little more scent in the water. And that should be some prime bait right there. Like I mentioned earlier, where we're fishing at, Moon Eye's king of baits down here on this little river. I've seen times where you couldn't get a bite on anything except Moon Eye. Seen that more than once. So on this rig, we got a 2-ounce weight with a 3-way swivel. And we got one of these little spooks on here. It makes a bunch of noise, especially with the live bait. So we're just gonna put us a small bluegill on here since we're using a smaller hook. But you can still catch a big fish on a bluegill like that. Or a bigger channel cat. So we got our 4 rods out. Hopefully we have a takedown pretty quick, but in the meantime, we're gonna be trying to catch us some more Moon Eye to take home and put in the freezer. You can freeze them just like skipjack. They get a little mushy, the Moon Eye do, but they're still good bait frozen. Oh. Here, Landon, reel him in.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, so we sat here for about 30 minutes without a bite, and we just had one go
I
down.
need to turn this thing on.
It's the right kind,
This
isn't
is
it?
what we're after right here. It's
Old
about
channel cat.
5.
Yeah, that's perfect. Don't let him get off. Let's get him in here. He was hooked good. He wasn't coming off. Yeah, that's what we was after. Ooh, them hooks are sharp. That'll work, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sat here a little bit longer. See if we can get us another one. We'll put that one on a stringer. All right, y'all. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it a day. It's been a great day out here fishing. We caught a ton of fish, and we got us a couple of catfish to take home and fry up. So we'll see you guys back at the house. All right, y'all. So we're back home now. I filleted the fish, and I trimmed all the red meat off the fillets. And I dried them off really good with some paper towels. And then I just kind of barely dusted them a little bit with some of this Creole seasoning. Because our fish fry, our breading here has a lot of seasoning in it. This is Zatarain's Crispy Southern. That's what I've used for years. I really like the seasoning they put in this. Pretty good stuff. Now I used to use like an egg wash with hot sauce in it and stuff. And now that's good to fry fish that way. But I found that I actually like it better if you get all the moisture off the fillets, then bread it. It's a really thin, crispy batter. And I seem to like it a little better like that. So we're gonna go ahead and dump our breading in here. I'll tell you what, I definitely don't need this whole box just for 2 channel cats, but once I open these, I usually just go ahead and use them all, so we'll just dump the whole thing in there. They're only like $1 anyway, so. We already got our grease hot in our little fry daddy here. Man, I've had that thing for probably 10 to 15 years, and I've used it a lot, and that thing still works. It's been a good one. We're just gonna shake him up here, and you might notice we're cooking on our trailer fender out here in the yard. I already had an extension cord hooked up to my boat, so I just figured this would be as good a place as any, somewhere flat to set the little fryer. And the house won't smell like grease for the next week and a half. Should be hot. Yeah, we'll give that 3 minutes and then we'll drop in one more load and that should do it. All right, y'all, the first round is done. Well, I wish y'all could smell this right now, but I don't know if I'm just that hungry or what, but man, it smells good out here. Go ahead and drop in the second round here. We're not gonna have, probably not gonna have enough to fill us both up. We should have definitely kept that one we threw back. We was worried about how pretty it looked. I'm sure we wouldn't have cared about that once we was eating it. We got some other stuff we're fixing to go along with it, so I'm sure we'll manage. All right, Landon, get one of them pieces closest to you, because the rest of them are too hot. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I've done ate some while the second round was cooking. You gotta try it, gotta sample it while you're cooking. 1 out of 10, what you got?
It's better than the gar.
Well, I hope so. We couldn't even eat that.
10 out of 10.
Oh, all right. Well, last time I got an 8 out of 10, so we're doing something right. You know, I try not to eat a lot of fried foods. I like grilled salmon. I like baked crappie. But when God made the catfish, he made that fish to be fried, I think. That's the only way I think they're any good. But man, they're good. So we're gonna go enjoy our dinner, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I know we had an absolute blast making it for you all. You know, I love chasing the big trophy fish, but sometimes I have just as much fun, if not more, just going out, messing around on the river and just having a good time. But I wanna thank you guys for watching. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time.